Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lorie Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lorie Gardner. Welcome back to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge old stories about aging and remind women that midlife is just the beginning of your most vibrant years. I'm your host, Lorie Gardner, registered nurse, board-certified health and wellness coach. Today's episode is called Your Menopause, Your Rules, Take Control of Your Health and Your Story. Because let's be honest, for too long, menopause has been treated like a condition to manage or a season to simply endure. But it's much more than that. This is your time to rewrite the narrative, to move from confusion to clarity, from frustration to freedom. We'll talk about mastering menopause with awareness, appreciation, action, and acceptance, and why addressing your whole self is the key to reclaiming your health, your energy, and your story. Because when you ignore what your body, mind, and spirit are trying to tell you, that's when imbalance sets in. But when you listen, support, and honor your needs, menopause becomes a transformation, not a breakdown. So grab your tea or take me along on your walk, and let's talk about what it really means to make menopause your own. Now, I'm not going to talk about the medical aspects of menopause. I hope you all have a great practitioner, somebody who specializes in menopause, because the physical symptoms can be absolutely... See, I'm speechless for words. They can be very difficult, ladies, and I don't want to minimize that. But I do want to say, because I'm not going to go into that, I want to make sure you have good options. If you need good options and you need to find a practitioner, I'm happy to help. But for the purpose of this podcast, I want to address the whole person, because I found, having already done some of that work, my menopause I believe it went more smoothly, and I had surgically induced menopause. So that, as my endocrinologist said, is about as rough as it gets, and I can't say for me it was rough. So get in touch with me if you need more on that level. But today, why does whole person approach matter, and what are you talking about? So menopause isn't just a biological event. That's what I want to say. It's a full body, mind, body, spirit transformation. It impacts your hormones, yes, no doubt. But it also influences your energy, emotions, thought patterns, and even your sense of purpose. When we focus on the physical symptoms like hot flashes, weight gain, or sleep disruption, we miss the deeper message our body and spirit are trying to send. Let's look at what happens in each of these dimensions of wellness. First, physically. The hormone shifts can change your metabolism, your skin, your joints, and your sleep patterns. If you ignore these changes or try to push through, your body will eventually push back, often through fatigue, inflammation, or chronic disease. Now, mentally, that fluctuating estrogen can affect neurotransmitters for sure, leading to anxiety, mood swings, or brain fog. Ignoring this can make you doubt yourself, and that's where the old lady mindset can sneak in. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too slow. And then emotionally, menopause invites you to face your beliefs about aging, self-worth, and femininity. If you repress or dismiss these emotions, they manifest as irritability, sadness, or disconnection. And then spiritually, this stage asks, who am I now? Who am I now after raising kids, or in the middle of raising kids, almost done, going through menopause, empty nest, all of it? As one chapter closes, another begins, our ladies, but only if we make space to listen to our inner wisdom and find that inner authentic self that holds our power. When we address the whole person, menopause becomes a rite of passage into power. But when we don't, when we stay disconnected or focused only on symptoms, we suffer unnecessarily. So what are those consequences of ignoring whole person health? Well, there's a higher risk for chronic disease like diabetes or heart issues, emotional burnout and depression, relationship disconnection, loss of purpose and joy. So, ladies, I want us to take control. And where there's four key areas of mastery. And let's talk about how to take that control. First key, physical health. Nourish and move. Your body is recalibrating. It needs nourishment, not punishment. Focus on real food, more plants, lean protein, healthy fats. And again, I want to preface this by saying this is just general information. Yes, I am a registered nurse. I am not a doctor. If you need more specific help and you're having extreme problems, you need a really good menopause practitioner. But I'm just going to go through an oversight for those of you that are kind of managing it. Symptoms aren't crazy, but you might take a little tips from here that might help you. So focus on real food, more plants, lean protein, healthy fats. Strength training. Ladies, it's all about strength training. It's your best friend for bone and muscle health. Absolutely. I actually was able through strength training to improve my osteoporosis to a somewhat at borderline. It's almost osteopenia. So the bottom line is I improved it with strength training, lots of it. It's also important to prioritize sleep. It's when your body repairs, your hormones reset, right? And then try and avoid the quick fixes. This isn't about dieting. It's about supporting your long-term vitality. Here's just some tips that might resonate with you. Start each morning with hydration. Drink a lot of water. 5 minutes of stretching and one nourishing meal choice that supports your energy instead of draining it. Remember, small steps over time create big changes. The second key is mental health. Manage the mind. Our thoughts shape our experience. During menopause, brain chemistry changes, but so can your mindset. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm falling apart, or I'll never feel like myself again, just pause. Take some deep breaths. Maybe try and replace that thought with something like, my body is evolving, and I'm learning to support it with compassion. Meditation, journaling, and mindful breathing help calm the nervous system and improve focus. So if you want to take one action step away here, just try and do just breathing. Just 4 deep breaths in, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4. Do this a few times when stress hits. It can ground you instantly. The third key is emotional health. Feel and release. Hormone changes can amplify emotions you've suppressed for years. Instead of fighting them, feel them. Use them as guidance, not judgment. Ask yourself what needs to be healed, forgiven, or released in this new season of my life. Because I'm worth doing this healing, because my next season, it's going to be awesome. Because that old lady isn't coming in. And I'm going to get myself in tip-top shape. So, you can hear, self-love is the anchor here. Remember, you're not broken, you're becoming. You're finding more of your authenticity, more of your inner power. And yes, this can be a difficult phase, but why don't we look at it as a transition to something even better? So what could be a little action step for you? Maybe just do a menopause mood journal. I had a client do that. She loved it. Each day she wrote one word to describe how she felt and one thing her body needed. And then she started to see some patterns over time. And she found some more power in releasing those emotions and just writing them out. And the fourth key is spiritual health. Reconnect to purpose. This is where transformation truly happens, ladies. Menopause marks the awakening of the wise woman within, the part of you that no longer seeks external approval, but seeks inner peace. Reconnect with what brings you joy, creativity, nature, community, spiritual practice. The more you honor your spirit, the more gracefully your body follows. So what's one thing you can try to do here? Maybe each morning say, how can I honor my body and my spirit today? And then listen and act. If there's a creative thing in your blood, I just was speaking with a client, she took up painting. She's like a different person. She always wanted to paint, so she's painting. So think of that. Just to share a little inspiration, real life. I once worked with a client, let's just call her Anne. She came to me exhausted, anxious, and frustrated. She said, I feel like my body is betraying me. This menopause, blah, 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 BS is just too much. So we started small. We focused not just on diet and supplements, but on her thoughts, her daily routine, and how she spoke to herself. She began walking outside. She started doing journaling. She started doing those purge letters, ripping them up, and then practicing a nightly gratitude meditation. Within weeks, her sleep improved, her anxiety lifted somewhat, and she started saying, ooh, I'm starting to feel like me again. Do you know what that makes me feel like when I hear that coming out of a client's mouth? It's just awesome. I'm feeling like myself again. Because, ladies, the truth is, in menopause, we stop feeling like ourselves, right? It's almost sometimes like an out-of-body experience for many. But we can handle this. We can do this. So the truth is, when we went back to it, we looked at it and said her body didn't betray her. It was begging her to listen. When you care for the whole person, your body, mind, and spirit, they start working together for you, ladies, again, and that's when the healing happens. So let's reflect for a moment as we start to wrap up. Which part of you have you been ignoring? Your body, your mind, emotions, or spirit? One, both, all? Reflect on that for a moment. And what's one simple step you can take today to reconnect to yourself? Because ignoring this stage doesn't pause it, it just makes it harder. When you take control through awareness, compassion for yourself, and intentional self-care, you don't just survive menopause, you thrive through it. If you want to go deeper, I always offer coaching and wellness programs designed to help women create their own personalized plan to address the whole person. This is an individual journey, and although there's a lot of information out there, the best information, I believe, ladies, is inside of you. And finding ways to tap into that can be a challenge. But I'm here to help you. I like to think of menopause. I do have a handout if anybody's interested, and it's called The 4 A's of Menopause. Your ultimate guide: awareness, appreciation, action, and acceptance. So remember, ladies, menopause is not the end. It's an invitation to come home to yourself, to care for your body with love, to strengthen your mind, to honor your emotions, and to live from your spirit. So ladies, keep shining, keep growing, and whatever you do, don't let the old lady in. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Don't Let the Old Lady In. Remember, age is just a number. Your mindset, energy, and passion are what truly define you. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Subscribe and leave a review so we can continue this journey together. You are strong, vibrant, and unstoppable. Until next time, keep living boldly, loving yourself fully, and most importantly, don't let the old lady in.